Tiger King. Today we're going to start with the chapter of Vistas, which is the third chapter, Tiger King. So this is a very comical chapter, dramatic irony that is sort of on the political scenario of the country, as well as it also give you a picture about pre-partition political rulers, how the kingdoms were ruled, or how the kings who actually behave, how there was abuse of power without any sort of reason, without any sort of notional explanations or any reason or any sort of wisdom, but it was ruled to abuse power to do whatever they wanted at their own time. So it is a very light-hearted comical satire where the in the entire chapter you will see how stupidity technically overrules, how the faith and reason is juxtaposed, and how the king abuses his power over his ministers, over his people in the kingdom, and so forth, and it leads to his own doom. So it is written by Kalki. His pen name is the author's pen name is Kalki, and he's author from Madras, and he has written many of the short stories on the political, social history of before partition and giving a satire over it. So his stories are like they are short stories, and so forth. So forth, they are like a question of the society. So his actual name is your Sri R. Krishnamurthy, and he's almost a pre-partition writer, and he's writing all these satires, all these short stories as a picture of the society that time it was going through. So let's start the chapter. Think about, keep in mind the theme, the entire theme, which is exactly like it's a comical figure. The comical figure is the Tiger King, and it's a satire over the political scenario which is going in the kingdom. It is a story of a ruling Indian class in pre-partition days. So and all the other themes like astrological faith versus reason, as well as it's a dramatic irony that you will see in the chapter when we talk about the summary. You'll see how at the end it is when the king dies, it's an irony. So let's begin the chapter. We'll give a brief summary and then we'll take up the theme specifically. So what happens? The Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram, which is a place in Madras, and so what happens, his son is born, and that time, so usually what happens, whenever people believe in that sort of astrology and their faith lies there, so whenever a child is born, so parents call up the astrologers to check how the future would be, how will he do. It also prevails in the modern day. So Maharaja calls up the astrologer, and then he asks how the prince will be. So the prince that time was 10 days old. So later his name is Sar Julani Jang Jang Bahadur. Later he is known to be as the title. But when he comes, he's 10 days old, and the astrologer predicts that the king will die because of a tiger. So he will die after on the 100th tiger when he kills. So now the 10-day-old prince talks. Now it is sort of a miracle. It adds a lot of mysticism in the chapter, where a 10-day-old child is speaking back. He's talking back to the astrologer, and he laughs it over. He angrily, gruffly says that no, let the tigers beware of me, and this will not happen, and he will make that prophecy to be false. He will make that prediction to be false, and he will kill 100 tigers. So as soon as he is growing, so when he kills his first tiger, he goes to the astrologer and he shows it that he has killed. But still the astrologer believes that he will be killed by the 100th tiger. So the astrologer then claims that, see, if I am wrong, if my astrology, if my prediction is wrong, then I will I will stop doing astrology from that day, and I will cut my hair short, and I will stop whatever I'm doing. I will no more be an astrologer. Now, this is a claim for both the sides. Now, the prince is also claiming that he will, he's actually confident, rather, that he will disapprove, he's completely make the prophecy to be false. And here, astrologer is very much confident over his astrology that he will not, that the king will die of the 100th tiger. So the entire prediction is known to everybody in the kingdom, be it the ministers, be it the people of the kingdom, be everybody. So when the king, now the prince, when he is pronounced as king, so he goes on to kill tigers. He goes on to kill his number of tigers, and he keeps on achieving them. And soon there is a time when there are no tigers left in his kingdom. There are no tigers left, and there is a dearth of tigers. So he makes a rule also that nobody apart from him are allowed to kill the tigers. And if at all somebody kills the tigers without his permission, or if at all he kills the tigers after making such a rule, then he will be confiscated, or he will be punished for that crime. So this was made as a crime. He was not supposed to kill any of the tigers anymore, nobody except him. So one day, Britishers were already there. So a British officer wanted to come and hunt in his area, but he didn't allow him, and he was also very scared of the fact that if he doesn't allow the British officer to kill tiger in his own kingdom, then he can be punished. His kingdom can be taken from him. So to protect his kingdom, what he does, he tries to bribe the officer's wife. Now, to bribe officer's wife, he sends diamond rings worth rupees 3 lakh to Britisher's wife, and with the expectation that she will pick up one or two. But to the contrary, she picks up all of them, and then he takes all of them as a gift, and then sends a thank you note to the king back, to the king. So forth, this entire set of events is done. So now even the British officer is bribed because his wife is sent with so many gifts, so many diamond rings. So he has let go on the hunting in his area. Now there was a dearth again of tigers, where 29 tigers were left to be killed to make it 100. So earlier days, what happened for their political gains, people used to marry in each other's kingdom. So I have a kingdom, my son will be marrying another kingdom, another king's daughter, so that there is alliance between two kingdoms, and so forth. They both can share that sort of a benefit from each other, be it war or be it any sort of benefit. So the same happens here. So the king now sends a search to his divan, where his minister, that go and find a wealthy bride for him whose kingdom is wealthy enough that they have tigers. So there was nothing in his mind except proving the prophecy of the astrologer to be wrong. So he sends his people, his ministers, his officers, to go and find such a girl. So when that sort of a kingdom is found, when the kingdom is found where he could hunt more of tigers, so he marries that daughter of that king, and so she gets into a matrimonial alliance. So now he is happy with that fact, because he will be able to kill his 29 tigers and make it 100. So he goes on to kill tigers in that kingdom. Now there's a dearth, now there's one tiger which is left. Now the one tiger to be killed which is left, now he's completed 99 tigers. And since he keeps on killing those tigers, so what he does, everybody and popularly, he proclaims himself to be the Tiger King. So when he proclaims himself to be the Tiger King, then everybody is known between everyone as the most powerful tiger king. He has killed so many tigers as a show of power. So forth. When he goes, he has done his 99 tigers. Now there is one more tiger left. Now he is so because now there is no tigers left in his kingdom, not even in the kingdom of his brides. So no more tigers are left, and it is very. He becomes very frustrated, very irritated with the fact that there is no more tigers, and he is not able to prove the prophecy right until unless he finds one more tiger to mark his number as the 100th one. So for after that, so what also to show his power and that he is proving the prophecy of the astrologer wrong. What he does, he showcases all the tiger skins, whatever he has killed in his kingdom, in his palace, so that everybody knows that he has killed 99 tigers. Now there is a place of one tiger, only one tiger is left to get it 100. And if it's 100, then he is now free from the prophecy. Then there will be no threat to his life, because that was the prediction of the astrologer, that he will be killed, or he has set from tigers, he will be killed by the 100th tiger. So he goes on to do that. So now what happens? Now he's very frustrated because the last tiger is not there, and everybody is searching for one more tiger so that the king can kill. So out of his frustration, out of his anger, what he does, that he takes it out on his ministers, out on his people, and he increases taxes for the people, because he is mad, he is gone crazy, he is frustrated, so somewhere he needs to get that sort of ease. So he keeps on increasing the taxes of the people. He punishes many of his officers, he removes them from their job, and now it's where the Divan, his ministers, Divan shows, Divan is somewhere also the sign of a little bit of wisdom and reason, where he tries to talk to the king and tell him that whatever he's doing is wrong, don't do it. But he still doesn't listen. So now he gives ultimatum to the Divan as well, and he says that you will lose your job if you don't find me last tiger, the 100th tiger. So now Divan is also very scared. So Divan per se is the title that is given to the wise, the next wise person apart from the king. So he's like holds the chair next. He's in hierarchy. He's the next powerful person. Make it like president or vice president. So Divan could be one more. That sort of a title holding. So he's given that sort of an ultimatum now, that if he doesn't find him the next 100 tiger, then he will lose his job, and he will lose his job. So he's so scared that he goes on to a run and tells many people to get him the last 100 tiger. Now what happens, that he recalls the fact there is one tiger still left. There is one tiger that has been recently brought to the people's park in Madras. So old tiger has been brought to the park, and he's old, he's a frail tiger. So if the king kills that tiger, then the 100 tiger will be over and everybody can live in peace, because the king is here going mad, and king is getting frustrated because of the reason that he is not able to kill any of the tiger more. So what happens? So he informs the king about this last tiger which is there. So the king goes to kill that 100th tiger, and what suddenly happens is that when he shoots over the king, the king shoots over the tiger, he misses the bullet, and the tiger, there's a loud noise of the bullet when he shoots. So the tiger is so old and he's so frail, and he actually is so scared that he gets fainted before the bullet could hit the tiger. So faints before the bullet could hit him. So in a way, the tiger is fainted, but he is not killed. But the king doesn't know that. So the anticlimax, the climax is actually revealed earlier in the chapter. It becomes an anticlimax, where it is already revealed. So So now the king doesn't know. So the king doesn't know that the hunted tiger is the tiger is not dead. He didn't kill the tiger. And when the other hunters, the ministers, the officers of the king finds out that the tiger that king shot a bullet at is not dead. He was just merely fainted. So what they do is they kill the tiger anyways. They kill the tiger with the fact that the king shouldn't get to know that he has not killed. So forth, if the king doesn't get to know this, so their jobs can be secured. So they will not be punished anymore. So what happens then? They themselves kill the tiger. So now a king has just killed 99 tigers. He is not aware of the fact that he has not killed the 100th tiger. The 100th tiger is killed by the other hunters and the other ministers on the order of the ministers. The hunters have killed them. Now that the 100th tiger is, there is an erected tomb over his burial, and to show that the king is the powerful one, tiger king, Sir Jilani Jansar Bahadur, is a powerful one and he has killed so many tigers. So forth, he has completely made the prophecy of the astrologer false. So before he could actually take the skin of, he could go and tell, and he can take the skin of the 100th tiger to the astrologer, he passes away. So when he passes away, he is confident even more that now since he has proved the prophecy to be false, then that's why he has passed away, and there is no way that he can be killed now with a 100th tiger. So everybody is at peace, everybody is happy, and king is happy now. So now there is a chapter, there is a portion where the king now suddenly, after all politically killing, abusing of power, and his mad fancy of killing the tigers, now moves back to, now since after he has killed 100 tigers, presuming that the last one he has killed, so now he is at peace, he is happy now, he moves over to his son. His son is 3-year-old child. So in that celebration, in that happy zone, he gets a gift for his son. Since he gets a gift for his son, it is a small tiger, wooden small tiger, which is like very, it's not carved well. It's not carved, it's very poorly carved. So the slivers of those wood are coming out, जिसको हम हिंदी में रेशे भी बोलते हैं, कि उस लकड़ी के रेशे उस छोटे से लकड़ी के शेर से बाहर आते हैं जो एक खिलौना है. तो अगर वो ऐसा होता है कि अगर वो आपको हाथ में लग जाता है वो लकड़ी का, दैट कैन गेट इन्फेक्शियस भी हो सकता है, वो इन्फेक्शियस हो सकता है, वो आगे पस कर सकता है आपकी बॉडी में. सो ही गेट्स दैट स्मॉल टॉय टाइगर for his son, who's a 3-year-old. So, and all the quails are coming out, the slivers of the wood is coming out from that poorly carved tiger, the toy tiger. So once he was playing with his son and with that tiger, and suddenly what happens? The little sliver of that wood pricks in his hand. So when it pricks in his hand, now what happens? He ignores the fact, he takes it out, and he goes back to his usual thing. Now what happens? He didn't realize that the quail, that sliver that pricked in his hand can become infectious, or it has now it has adverse effects on his hand. So he didn't realize. So what happened? He got infection. There was a lot of pus formation in the hand. So the entire hand was now infected. So since the entire hand was now infected, there were surgeons being called from 3 different major surgeons were called to cure him. Now it became so that it had the adverse effects on his health. So it kept on deteriorating. His health kept on deteriorating since the infection is now all over the body. So since the three major surgeons, the big shot surgeons being called to cure him, and then what happens? Since he is now not able to get cured, he dies of that infection. So when he dies, then everybody in the kingdom realizes that yes, eventually he has died from the 100th tiger, which is the wooden tiger. He has killed so many tigers, alive, big animal, ferocious animals that he has killed. Now the last tiger, which is the wooden tiger, he is killed by that. So eventually the astrologer's prophecy comes back. So Tiger King foolishly dies by the 100th tiger, which is a wooden tiger. Now that's how the story ends. So this story, revolves around a lot of political satire, lot of raises a question on the fact that how there is abuse of power. There is abuse of power over the people, over the animals, especially. So this chapter can be taken in a manner that there was a lot of, in terms to fulfill their own wish, fulfill their own fancy, fulfill their own desire. The kings that time could have gone to any extent to be killed, to kill wildlife. I mean, there are examples also like how many of the Bollywood actors have been in jail in terms of killing animals, rare species who are now being extinct. So see how in chapter also you will sense the fact that he's killing so many tigers, and the tiger is now an endangered animal, so he will be extinct in a few years, and so it has happened even today. So so forth. These all selling of tiger skin, hunting, and these have been stopped because there is extinction of the tigers, extinction of these endangered animals. So the chapter also gives a view over that there is extinction of tigers in his kingdom, and then he goes to other kingdom, make a matrimonial tie, and kills the tigers in that kingdom. So there is killing, abuse of power everywhere, over the animals, over the people, where he increases the taxes on people. There is abuse of power over the ministers, where they are used. I mean, they are getting punished without a reason. There is no reason to punish them, but they still are getting punished without any fault. So there is a series of things happening. There is a series of abuses of power has been happening by the king for his own fancy. So keep in mind, when you write there can be a question of the characteristics of the king. So remember that he is quite moody. He's moody, he's callous, he's ruthless. So ruthless, you can say, in terms of tigers, killing of tigers, ruthless towards animals. He refuses to see reason of any kind. Since the prophecy which has been done, if it doesn't even, there was no need per se for the king to actually go ahead and kill tigers. There was no need. He could have just gone. Otherwise, even if he would have not killed so many tigers, he would have been living happily. So there was no need to kill, just to show his power, just to show that he can prove the astrologer wrong and he is the powerful one. He goes on to kill the tigers. He refuses completely to see the reason of any kind, even when Divan tries to talk him out of killing of these tigers, making a matrimonial tie to kill the tigers. He refuses to do that. Then he abuses his power. Abuse of power you can see all while in this chapter, where when the increasing taxes, punishing people unnecessary, then killing of tigers, killing of tigers in a manner that he is now ordering people to get him more tigers so that he can kill. And he can actually prove a stupid prophecy wrong. So it also comes as a very irony in the political scenario. It comes as how a king should be. It's completely ironical to the stature of the king, where the king should be wise, the king should be responsible, the king should be intelligent enough not to do these sort of mistakes or not to do these sort of stupid things for his own happiness, but he keeps on doing that. So, and keep in mind, it's the story of a ruling Indian class before partition. So when the country was under British rules, to make a deal with them or to keep them into their good books, to be there in the good books, they need a lot of bribing. So yeah, one factor also there that he did bribe the British officers, technically his wife, so that the British officer cannot hunt in his zone, so forth, so that he can also save his kingdom. So here, the bribe was a big deal that time. So to keep being the good books, you have to need to give them something, so forth. They can stay in their good books, so the kingdom is not taken by the British. So these all kept happening at that time. So also it proves to the fact that where the king is showing his power over the people by killing 100 tigers. That killing of 100 tigers also refers to the fact that it is also showcasing his power that nobody in this kingdom can challenge him. If the most powerful animal can be, who is the king of the jungle, who can be killed by a king, so forth, that any man in the kingdom should be terrorized and should be stay in their own sort of zone where they don't answer back or they don't question back the king for whatever he is doing. Because if the king can be ruthless to the animals, he can be easily ruthless to the humans as well. So fourth, there is no way at all that his power could be challenged. So he continues to abuse the power. He continues to bribe to get what he needs. He goes make a matrimonial tie in terms to get more tigers to kill him, so that he can kill and prove the prophecy of the astrologer wrong. So that keeps on happening. And then talk about how astrological faith is versus the reason. So the faith could be whatever it means. How the king reacted in the entire play. It means he had a lot of faith in the prophecy. He knew, though he could have just easily reasoned it out, or he could have easily let it go. He could have behaved in a responsible king by not endangering flora and fauna of his own country, his own kingdom. But still, he chose to show his power, to abuse his power in terms of killing tigers and getting more tigers to his kingdom. So, where it sounds as like it becomes the irony completely. You can see how the astrological faith it's technically versus the reason, where there is more people are more having faith on astrological prediction rather than reasoning it out with wisdom, with the intelligent intellectual mind, which a king is supposed to have. But no, it has been completely gone stupidly followed astrological prediction and goes on by doing the same. The entire events in the chapter you will see has been just to prove the prophecy wrong. So, and then there is a very dramatic irony, ultimately since, because ultimately the king dies by the 100th tiger, who is a wooden tiger, so which is a lifeless toy small tiger, and eventually that only kills him. So after all those whatever he has done to destruct the flora and fauna, destruct the entire kingdom by killing so many tigers, by abusing of power, eventually he gets killed by a tiger ultimately. So it becomes a dramatic irony. So the questions, when you attempt these questions, it will be asked in a manner to comment on the kingdom, how he has abused his power, or there will be questions on how the prophecy is ultimately proved right. So these are the basic questions that will be asked. It's an easy chapter to attempt, easy chapter to answer, because it's a very fun chapter. So it should be a must read. So if you're just nicely just sitting, you can just open the chapter and read. You can, at a point, you will really laugh at the stupidity of the people, what is going on. You will be having a good laugh at the time when the old tiger is fainted, because he was so scared. So the language that the Kalki uses language in a very comical manner, and the king turns out to be a comical figure. And it's a very easy read also. The language is not that dense, it's an easy read. The themes are very clear. It will show you the political satire that Kalki is trying to throw, and it will also give you a political scenario that follows in the entire kingdom, how there was abuse of power, there is bribing to save the kingdom, there is no welfare done for the people. So there is no welfare, there is no good done for the people, but rather the people have to listen to whatever the king commands, who is extremely stupid in his own manner, who is keep on doing things to fulfill his wishes, to give him happiness, to like whatever he's fancying. Because killing of the tiger, which he has thought, it's like a fancy, he's enjoying it. He's enjoying the fact that he's killing tiger, and he is proving himself right, that he is the powerful king. Because as the chapter also begins, when the 10-day-old is a mystical event, when the 10-day-old child actually speaks back. and then he says, "Let the tigers beware." So it is also, in a many facets, it's a satire, it's a dramatic irony, it is showing the pre-partition kingdoms and the rule of kings, how they were. So that entire portion, the hunting was like a fancy. Hunting was like sort of a grandeur. In a manner, it is like a batch, a honor of batch that you have hunted this much tigers, you have hunted this animal. So it comes at a batch. So the kings used to do sort of to amuse themselves. So that sort of attitude of the king, which is shown and written by Kalki in a very, Kalki being the author, has been written in a very playful, comical manner, giving a satire. So keep in mind when you answer these questions. And there will be questions also will be very easy in a very simple language that tell you to narrate the entire sort of the events that have happened, or they will tell you to justify the title Tiger King, and you now know how to do it since he has been killing and then popularly he was known. So when you read the chapter, you will have a clear idea of the events that has been going on, and so forth. The name it justifies the title. There can be questions of how he is killed at the end, how the hunted tiger is killed. So the prophecy comes right. So how the role of Divan, or there can be characteristics that you have to talk about the king. So you have to talk about the here and there events. So there can be small questions of 3 marks. There will be big questions also. Usually the question that you come is the small questions that you need to answer. So that is easy. Do mention the name of the chapter and the name of the author per se. So go through the background of the author, talk about how he writes in the beginning 2 lines, that's it. So mention his name, that his name, Kalki is his pen name and his name is Sri R. Krishnamurti and he is the writer of this period. And then go ahead with the answer. So it is, mention the theme, mention what it's talking about. So in a manner, you will cover most of the part when in beginning when you talk about the theme, then you will be covering most of the questions anyways, because then the examiner will be having an idea that you know the chapter, you know the theme. So it is easier for you to answer. You have to just remember here and there even, since when you read the chapter, even that will be cleared. So answer that in that manner, in a framing manner, and keep in mind the themes, keep in mind the talking of satire, keep in mind how the king behaves, keep in mind how the people behave, people that nobody talks back, that nobody raises a voice against his unjust attitude, his abuse of power, his killing of so many tigers, which is ultimately very much wrong in terms to preserve our flora and fauna. So yeah, nobody talks him back, neither the Divan, his wisdom is also countered at a point that he is not being listened in any manner. So talk about, it's a one-man rule, it's like a dictatorship. So yes, so keep all of that in mind and yeah, answer the question that manner. Cut.